Yeah, so this is part two to the video. Uh, I wanted to talk about um, the story of Lucifer, of Satan, of the darkness, and all that stuff. So, as you know, God ruled heaven, and there was his angels and all that stuff. There was, of course, Michael was one of them, Gabriel was one of them, Raphael, Ariel. Ariel? I don't know if there's an Ariel. Uriel. All these guys were up there and they ruled over heaven. And then it is said that Lucifer was once an angel too, but he got full of himself. He was prideful. He thought he could overtake God and show God that darkness is should rule instead of light. But then he also gathered like a bunch of other demons and angels to overthrow heaven, but that didn't work out. Their coup was squashed, and then they were banished. They were banished to hell and all that shit. And there's this picture. I don't know who's the artist that painted it, but I like this picture for some reason. It shows Lucifer, and he's crying. He's like frustrated. He's covering his mouth like this, and there's tears running down his eyes. He's just like, shit, what the fuck? That's like that's a result of frustration. Like you try to accomplish something, you try to do something so bad, but it just failed, and you fell right flat on your face, and you ate shit. You know, it sucks to say, but I could resonate with that. I could resonate with that feeling. My whole life, like I felt like I failed at so many things. Like I don't have that many accomplishments other than going to school and graduating and all that stuff. That's hardly an accomplishment because everyone does that. Everyone is processed in this fucking assembly line called life, especially here, especially in cities. Like there's nothing unique. It feels like there's nothing unique or special about anyone. But that's a lie. Like it's hard to believe sometimes because everyone feels like an NPC, and I'm sorry for saying that. I'm sorry for saying everyone feels like an NPC. I know NPC was a meme back then, but I don't think it's much of a meme now. But yeah, it feels like everyone is an NPC, and I'm just like, what? What the fuck happened? Why is everyone so weird and all this shit? Am I the weird one? Is it me? Am I the fucking weird one, or is it everyone else? That's a question that I ask myself. All I know is that everyone's right and they're also wrong at the same time. Even myself, I'm part of that group too. And so my whole life I've been processed in the elementary school system, in the middle school system, in high school, in college, and showing up to random places, and I felt like the black sheep. And when I try to stand up for myself and do something for myself and get better, improve myself, that's when I fall flat. And that's when everyone is like, oh, what the fuck are you doing? You should know your place. And so I feel punished for trying to improve in a sense. It's kind of weird, but that's how I truly feel. I feel punished by society. I feel punished by the machine, by the system, by other people. Like, there's an old phrase out there that says, peasants become pawns. And I don't want to be a pawn. That's probably why I'll be stuck being a peasant, and I'll live a peasant, and I'll die a peasant. But at least I'll be happy. At least I'm gonna be real to myself. At least I'm not gonna be a fake fucker. I'm not gonna be a fake phony fucker. Like these guys who we're pretty much on. We should be teaming up together and making what's right for us, but no. Certain people have it easier than others. Certain people think they're better than others and deserve shit more than others. No one is great. only a few people are great, and the great people step all over you, and they coddle you, and they look down upon you like you're a fucking kid, like you're a fucking baby, like you don't know any better, that you deserve the bare minimum. Yeah, that's why I don't look up to anybody. That's why I think anyone and everyone can be like a piece of shit and asshole sometimes. And people are just men. Like, there's no reason to worship the Pope. The Pope is just a guy that puts on pants and a belt to hold up the pants. Like, that's all he is. He's not like the one that you should call and reciprocate to so that he could send a message to God. No. You need to feel God within the soul. Like, people build churches. Look, there's one right. People build churches. They build Rome, the cathedral, and all that stuff. And they worship the cathedral, they worship the church, they worship the priests, they worship the saints, they worship everyone except God himself. Like Jesus Christ. There's this scene from the movies. If you watch the movies about Jesus, if you watch movies about whatchamacallit, yeah, about Jesus, about Moses, and all that stuff. These people were black sheeps. They were ostracized. Jesus saw what the church was becoming. It was becoming this place where you could barter, where you could go trade, where you could go fish. And the church drove away from God, and he was pissed off. He started flipping tables. He's like, what the fuck are you people doing? This is not what this shit is about. This is about worshiping God. And you guys just want to sell shit. You want to sell your roses. You want to sell your churros. You forget about everything that just happened. You forget about what the priest was saying. And you think you're good. You feel good about yourself because you put $1 or $5 or $20 in a basket that came down the road 2 times. And so Jesus was upset. That's why he ran away to the desert, and that's when he realized that he had to die in order to save everybody. But he was probably thinking to himself, why do I have to die for these people? These people suck. They suck so much. They're terrible. They'll eat each other. These people suck. You know, I try to show them God. I try to show them your grace, but they just don't get it. They don't understand. They worship golden statues. They worship images of what God is, of what Jesus is, of what Moses is, and they don't actually worship God. It's crazy. And that's another thing. There's another theory that Jesus went to heaven, right? He died on the cross and he went to heaven so that everyone else could go to heaven too. And Christianity made a name for itself. But there's this theory that says Judas was actually the one that got sacrifices. Judas is the reason why we all are in heaven, because he sold out Jesus. There had to be someone go to hell and truly sacrifice himself so that the rest of us, including Jesus, could be in heaven. Yeah, this is quite the theory if you think about it. He went to hell because he sold out Jesus. And then Jesus and everyone else went to heaven. So who really is the Savior? Who really is this true Savior? Is it Judas or is it Jesus? You know, that's quite the conundrum. And I'm not going to answer that. Like, I'll let you guys decide who's fair and who isn't. What's fair and what isn't. And so, yeah, black sheeps are real. Black sheeps are a phenomenon. And one thing we should do as black sheep is we should make our own shit. We shouldn't be afraid to be ourselves. We shouldn't be afraid to do the things that we want to do. Like, that's the only way we could find peace. Fuck what everyone else thinks. Fuck everything except for you. You gotta care about yourself. You gotta care so much about yourself that you become selfish in a way, that you put yourself above everything else. You put yourself above responsibilities and all that stuff. But Who the fuck am I to say this? I'm just some guy on the internet with a lot of free time to kill now because, you know, I'm not working and all that stuff. So I just have a lot of time to think. Don't listen to people on the internet. Listen to yourself, you know. Talk to yourself, listen to yourself. It's not weird. It's not weird at all. You just gotta do what's best for you, and only you know that. Don't go looking for advice from anyone else. Don't ask for advice from ChatGPT, from Reddit. Listen to yourself. Listen to what your heart says and go with it, for Christ's sake. Alright guys, I'm signing out. I wasn't in the mood to make this video. I was tired as fuck. I didn't want to do it. That's why I sound moody. I'm not usually like this, but I guess this is just one of those days where I can't help it. Alright, signing out guys.